And we are back again for another one. This is the Field Level, the football podcast of the West Coast. We are so happy, so elated that you all have decided to come back and be with you guys again. I'm Pat. That's Juan. That's CT. This is the Field Level. How y'all doing today, brothers? Y'all good?
Solid.
Yes,
Solid?
sir.
Solid? How you doing over there, Quan? You good?
As good as I possibly can be. Everything's all right, one day at a time, one day at a time.
Hey, man, one day at a time. You know what's crazy to me is, man, I think you might be starting to fad, bro.
Why? With the rip
The
white
last two
beater?
podcasts you've been on here with the wife beater, bro.
Oh, hey, this one's the rip white beater, so you know I'm not leaving the house.
Hey, I ain't mad at it, man. Rip wife beater and all. We here again for another amazing episode of the Field Level. I'm excited about tonight. I think we have a lot of moving and shaking going on in the league, and I think we got a lot to get to tonight. So how about we do this? Jump right into it, man. First thing I want to talk about with you guys is Monday night. Game of the week on Monday night. As you all know, we said we were going to deal with it on tonight. I was surprised. If I can be completely honest with you guys, I was very surprised, to say the least. I did not expect, nor did I anticipate the Baltimore Ravens to look like that. Lamar Jackson looked very mediocre. The Chiefs defense contained him crazy. And I just didn't see much of anything. I think one thing that was exposed for me was as great as Lamar Jackson is, as great as Big Truss is, you know what I mean, Mark Ingram, as great as J.K. Dobbins is, they lack weapons. You know, when he did struggle, Hollywood Brown is great, but he's not him, if you guys would allow me to say that. And outside of Hollywood Brown, you have Willie Snead. Okay, nothing to write home about there. So I just felt as though he had a tough time getting it going. And I have to say this, guys, I gave a lot of crap to the Chiefs the other day, or the other week, I should say. Looked really good. Looked really, really good. McCole Hardman, shout out to, looked amazing. McCole Hardman actually probably looked like outside. I mean, Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill, but he definitely looked like one of the best receivers for Kansas City on Monday night. Quan, how did you feel about the game? What did you see? How did you react to what was going on?
You know, this is gonna sound kind of harsh, but remember how I said I'm not gonna be fooled by the Ravens this year?
Right.
I completely, respectfully, but completely disagree with what you said about Lamar Jackson. He did not look average. He looked below average.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm sorry. Okay.
he looked below average. And if you take away the rushing yards, he looked very bad, honestly. And I've been harping on this for a while now on this podcast that he doesn't throw the ball consistently outside the numbers. And we both know in this league, you have to be able to hit those. He got the arm strength, I think, but you have to be able to connect to some of your receivers on the outside. You can't play in a phone booth like they play. They play between the hashes. The only time they get on the perimeter is when Lamar scrambles. That's what it seems like. And they play in phone booth. They play between Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, Dobbins, whoever's that running back, Gus Edwards, whoever, and Mark Andrews and Jack Doyle. They play between there. And when you do that against an experienced defense, they may not be the best home run names other than their two stars. But when you play an experienced defense with Tyrann Mathieu, who's pretty much, he's a linebacker in a safety's body, and you have Chris Jones, who's one of the more disruptive D linemen, when you play in the middle and they control the middle, it's kind of like a match. It's kind of match, for disaster. So, and last thing, and then I'll kick it to CT because I want to hear what CT got to say about this issue too. Like you mentioned, like Lamar don't got the weapons. I think he does have the weapons. I just don't think he's comfortable in throwing outside to those weapons. When you mentioned like Miles Boykin, whatever people think about him, he was a very productive receiver at Notre Dame, a 50-50 ball guy, or a guy who can take a 10-yard curl and take it to the crib. He's not getting those opportunities because Lamar not throwing there. When you look at somebody like an Aaron Rodgers, there's nobody there, especially this last week. He making everybody look good because he
I was about to
throws
say
to
he
him.
do got Devontae though, you know.
He do, but he wasn't playing. You had Lazard undrafted. You had Miles Scantling, who's like I think a 5th-round receiver, and whoever else they throw out there. But he gives them the opportunities to make plays. Boykin, Snead, and whoever else is. I don't even know who else they got receiver because they don't get no opportunities. So that's my thought.
CT.
Man, you guys hit it on the head. I'm gonna take it even deeper. One thing that sticks out to me is they added J.K. Dobbins, and I'm thinking, okay, that adds some explosive weaponry for this team. And then I thought about, Pat, who was the offensive coordinator?
Go ahead, man. Let him know.
I forgot bro's name, to be honest with you, and I feel ashamed for that. You remember his name?
I don't even.
Is
it Greg Roman? Is it Greg Roman? It is GR.
So thank you for that. I really did forget. I'm not lying. But there's kind of a plateau with him. He doesn't take it to another level. You know, you're on a good chapter and the pages start looking the same. And maybe this is exactly how high this offense can go with him. We've seen this happen before with the 49ers. So that's something to pay attention to. Maybe there's not enough offensive creativity to plug in some of these new pieces that they have. Because, I mean, they don't look super explosive, even though they should be.
Right.
There's enough there to do some things. Maybe you could add a weapon or two. But overall, there's enough talent in there to be creative offensively. And maybe they're limited based on what their offensive coordinator provides. You know, just call it what it is. Defensively, I don't know. I really had high hopes for this defense. I've seen them show out. I think they have some talent, but I don't know. You know, it's something we need to harp on and really pay attention to as we go forward, as we look at the better defenses in the league. I'll talk about the good. Patrick Mahomes was himself. He was special. Did it again. He looked like he was in rhythm. I want to make sure that this is addressed. Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked pretty good.
He looked
a little bit better, a little bounce back week for what he's asked to do. So look, I told you guys this is a Brian Westbrook type or mold essentially. So you're not going to get 150 yards all like that. He's going to give you some productive numbers in the rushing and receiving categories. You know, if you look at what he did, he was 20 carries, which was, I think, a lot, 64 yards. And then you had him with 5 receptions for 70 yards, 14 per reception. So, you know, you're going to get a mix of what he can. Yeah, you're going to get a mix of what he can provide for you, all purpose. And defensively, you know, they step up at the right times. They have some pieces there that allow them to make some stops late in games, depending on who they play and depending on the personnel. So, you know, all in all, good showing for the Chiefs.
No, I definitely agree. And I'm happy you brought up Greg Roman. I just want to touch on that piece for just a half second. I think one thing that we get used to doing as fans of the game, as people that watch the game, we throw a lot of the blame on the individual players as you know, players. You know, he didn't get the job done. He didn't do X, so he didn't do Y, he didn't do Z. One thing that I noticed in watching that game was, I said this about another team on Sunday, you know, the Ravens got out coached. It was a lot of scheme. It was a lot of scheme things that allowed Kansas City to do what they were doing. They collapsed the pocket on Lamar Jackson a lot, put a lot of QB contain, keeping him in the pocket and forcing him to be a thrower, whereas he's a better on the roll, rollout, on the run kind of passer, creating with his legs kind of a guy. They forced Lamar Jackson to be a passer, and they did a hell of a job of it for 4 straight quarters. And I think that we saw a very uncomfortable quarterback back there, a lot to the saluting of the defensive coordinator and the coaching staff for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I just wanted to point that out. I thought that was a huge point in that game. And I got to say, you know, kudos to Kansas City for making the Baltimore Ravens look very pedestrian. made him look like a man. You bleed like I bleed. At the end of the day, made him look like that. Going on, moving forward, man. This is the Field Level Football Podcast of the West Coast. I want to talk about these Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos had a very interesting game on Sunday. As you all know, as it came out on this past week, my guy Brett, Boise State University, go Broncos, is now going to be named as a starting quarterback for this upcoming Sunday. But I wanted to get your opinion, Quan, because at the end of the day, it wasn't like, Jeff Driscoll came in garbage time when Drew Lock got hurt. Not garbage time, but came in replacement of Drew Lock a couple weeks ago and played pretty well. Did decent as a backup. And then if you look at what he did on this past Sunday, 17 of 30, better than 50% completion percentage on his passes, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for 176 yards. Ended up in the grand scheme of things being benched for Brett. For Brett to come in and replace him. But when you go 17 of 30, completing better than 50% of your passes, is it a sense that, he just the flow of the game or the command of the game was away from him? That's why they had to make that move, and that's why they're making the move going forward?
It could be, but I might as well just give me a shirt that say I disagree. I believe the Broncos, now mind you, I'm just a fan watching. I'm not in the building.
Right.
I feel like they truly don't know what they're doing.
At the quarterback position in particular.
At the quarterback, you're right. At the quarterback position in particular. I'm not going to speak on Drew Lock because Drew Lock was supposed to be the guy. He had a promising rookie campaign to make it seem like he might take a step forward. And he got hurt in week 2. So I don't think they know what they're doing, because when you have Driscoll, who everything that you highlighted, came in and played very well in relief duty. And then last week, if you just watch the game that they played against the Bucs, even if you don't watch the full game and just watch the highlights, he didn't really play that bad. I mentioned on our last episode, the line did him no favors. And on top of that, he's down Cortland. Judy left for a little bit. Hamler had drops. I think Noah Fant had 3 drops.
Yeah.
And then
he didn't get helped out.
He didn't get helped out, bro. So I feel like I don't think the flow of the game even mattered, because they weren't losing by that much. I mean, the final score was 28 to 10 or 13 or something like that.
28-10.
The game's not even out of reach. And for the most part, the Bucs, I remember them punting a lot. The Broncos just couldn't do nothing. So I don't think it was the flow. I just think they don't know what they're doing. They're just throwing darts at a pool hall, at the board. He's like, this week we're going to try Brett.
Something sticks.
If it don't work, we can go back to Jeff, because Drew Lock ain't healthy yet. So, we just signed Bortles. So, hey, Bortles, if Brett don't do good, we're going to throw you out there next week, and then we're going to see what happens. I just think they're just throwing darts at the wall because they have so many player injuries. They're like, man, what do we got to lose? And at this point, Fangio don't care what's going on. If I get fired, I get fired.
It's funny that back-to-back CT we're dealing with the offensive coordinator, former offensive coordinator of the 49ers and Greg Roman, and former defensive coordinator of the 49ers and Vic Fangio. Right before I throw it over to you, CT, I just wanted to kind of talk and kind of bring some things to light. Brett Rypien, however you want to pronounce his last name.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
He's not.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it.
He's not a scrub. Undrafted free agent quarterback. But we're living now in the time when undrafted free agent quarterbacks, it doesn't hold anything against you for that.
Not at all.
You're talking about a guy at Boise State who had a 40-13 record, never lost more than 4 games in any season. He in his freshman year, went 9-4, and that was the worst record that he had at Boise State. Threw 13,578 yards, 90 touchdowns, 29 interceptions. I mean, the guy can play football. It's just about, I don't know if I trust the preparation in the building. Coming back to what you were saying, CT, to what you were saying, Quan, is that a lot of the times is these guys can play football, but if the coaching staff or the culture in its entirety is not right for that particular quarterback to thrive, let's just call a spade a spade. The Broncos haven't had a decent quarterback since Peyton Manning's last year.
Right.
And he wasn't even drafted there. He was brought in as a free agent.
And that
He didn't look
last
that
year,
good either.
he was about to say that last year. He didn't even really look that good. You're talking about we done been through the Paxton Lynches, the Joe Flaccos, all these guys, and now here we are again with another guy. So CT, how do you feel about yet another time that we're seeing a different starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos?
First, I appreciate you bringing up his pedigree at Boise State. Also want to mention, are you aware that his uncle is a Super Bowl MVP for the Washington
football team?
Washington football team, Mark Ripon. So, he has the pedigree. It's in his DNA to play this position. He's been watching it.
Can I add more pedigree? Just
sure.
Because you put a pedigree in there. His first cousin, Angela, was a starting quarterback in the Lingerie Football League. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Ooh. Hey, they got some ballers. Well, that's another topic.
wanted to put that out
there. So, I'm excited for his opportunity.
Right.
I think the team, for them, the most important thing right now is to find depth at the quarterback position. I understand that, the ship is out of your sail because you don't have, Drew Lock right now, and you were banking on him to kind of take that next step. But that doesn't mean that you can't figure out who that number 2 is going to be. I don't think it's going to be Blake Bortles. That wasn't the plan. So you need to see if
no.
Might have to be now.
But I mean, he could be kind of that Mark Sanchez, if you will. But you can't essentially have him as your number 2 down the road. Brett is giving himself every opportunity right now to do so. So I'm hoping that he plays well. And I mean, I'll be honest with you. You're starting against the Jets. What a blessing. To assert yourself, to get in there and really give your team an opportunity to win, and another chance for Drew to get healthy and hopefully get some momentum behind him when he gets back. So I think Brett will go out.
And since you said that, CT, perfect opportunity for me to say, if you got Tim Patrick or KJ Hamler on your fantasy football team, start them.
Book it.
These rookies need a win, because I know one thing. Jerry Judy's like, man, what the hell going on? I'm not used to losing 3 games in one season. What's going on?
Jerry Judy for sure is taking hits, man. Another guy that took a lot of hits on this past week. I'm gonna call him Can't Get Right. The long snapper, the former long snapper for the 49ers, Kyle Nelson. I don't think I've ever seen a guy so much in his own way and in his head over the course of a game. It kind of hurt my feelings to sit there and watch a guy just bad snap after bad snap after bad snap, and just like there was no fixing it, to the chagrin of himself. Now he at the house. He at the crib now. So the 49ers cut ties with Kyle Nelson and brought in another guy today. And I just thought it was sad to see, because Kyle Nelson is one of those guys who have been a lifelong Niner, so to speak. He's been with the organization for the last 9 years. So was definitely sad to see him go. But I mean, one day can turn your whole life around if we say it like that.
Man, y'all did him dirty.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Hey, 9 years of faithful quality play. Y'all not cutting the quarterback after one bad day, but you're gonna cut the long snapper after one bad day.
Absolutely.
Yes. I'm just saying.
Look, the quarterback has multiple jobs. This guy had one thing to do, and it wasn't going well anymore. Plus, they mentioned that this was a problem at practice. This was something that they had been noticing for weeks and weeks and weeks. Tried to buy him a little time. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest too. Look at the way I know he had a rough game, and I completely understand and respect everything he's contributed. The way he handled it on your teammates are walking over to you, man. George Kittle wasn't even healthy yet. He hobbling over there trying to, coddle you and be a good teammate. You can't.
That's why he deserves the chance to, like, hey man, look, everybody has a bad day. We're gonna come back to the drawing board.
No,
it's 9 years, bro.
If that had been Seattle or a good team, that would have been really bad.
Yeah,
I agree.
we would have
Everybody make
lost
mistakes.
because
And we
of
can't
that.
afford it. We can't
Anyway,
afford that loss.
I want to switch it up tonight, guys. We're gonna jump into the what's on your minds realm right quick. Just as we got a couple people on here, I see it's a few people on here. Shout out to Greg. Shout out to Sadi. Greg just posed a question, and since we're doing what's on your mind, Quan, I don't know if you have any. CT, I don't know if you have any, but Greg, since you said it, let's talk about it. Greg says on today, do you all think Drew Lock is the quarterback that the Broncos need to build around? He's at best a backup quarterback. I'm gonna throw that over to you too. First, CT, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like Drew Lock is the quarterback for the Broncos, or is he at best a backup?
You know what? I've been harsh in the past. You know, in the sense of saying like, "Hey, he ain't done nothing yet. How do we really know what we're getting?" And it's not fair to say, in my opinion, that he's a backup at this point just because we haven't seen enough. Maybe we can make that assessment after the season if he's able to come back and put on some tape and really see what he can do for his team and how he elevates his team. I don't know yet. I can't really say that as of yet. I think that he needs to be in there, and we need to see a little bit more tape personally.
Quan, how do you feel? Drew Lock, starter or backup? What are we talking?
100%.
I know you like Lock. I know you like Drew.
Hey, Lock game. You remember that?
Lock game.
You know
Lock game.
No, I 100% agree with CT, man. I think we need to see more. If we're gonna give other quarterbacks the benefit of the doubt of, well, they don't have weapons, well, the line's not good, well, the coaching staff ain't good. If we're gonna give all these other quarterbacks an excuse like Sam Darnold and
Baker Mayfield.
Thank you.
Baker Mayfield. If we're gonna do that, then we got to give Drew Lock a chance, especially since last year. I mean, Cortland Sutton did go to the Pro Bowl with over 1,000 yards. He wasn't throwing the ball to himself. So, I mean, you know, Noah Fant had a promising rookie year. He wasn't throwing the ball to himself. So I just think we need to give him a chance to get healthy. And then when he's healthy and puts a string of games together, then we can evaluate and say, you know what, we should give him another chance to start next year or bring somebody in who can challenge him to start.
Right.
I'm going to say this. I feel like Drew Lock has the moxie. It's something about the kid. I just like him. It's just like
it's because he's just like out.
He's swagged out. I feel like Drew, like if Drew throw a touchdown as he's running back to the sideline, he cussing you out. Like I just like it. I just like the way he approaches the game. So I'm gonna say for me, Drew could be a starter in this league. I think he showed that. I think he showed.
And he was handpicked too. He was handpicked.
That is very true. That is very true.
Oh, and let me cut you off right quick because you mentioned swag, and if he throws a touchdown, he gonna do something. Did y'all see Pat Mahomes after he scored that last touchdown? Him counted 1, 2, and now it's because he was number 4 on the 100 list. He was on 4.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
I'm down for that. Hey, Pat, let him know, Pat. Hey, them names is too close, man. Pat Mahomes, whatever you want to call it, man. You got me out here feeling like it was me. Shout out to Pat Mahomes for that. Yeah, I like that a lot. That right there made me a Pat Mahomes fan. Sadi says, do you feel like NFL defenses have caught up to Lamar Jackson? I don't think the NFL defenses have. I think the Kansas City Chiefs have. You know.
Hey, did you see so Patrick Mahomes and his fiance announced that they're expecting. Right. And somebody had tweeted out and said, "Oh, Lamar Jackson's gonna have a little brother."
That's my son. That's my son. Pat, tell Lamar, you my son.
That's disrespectful. You know what? I'll say, I don't think that. Well, you can't figure out a supreme athlete in those terms, in the grand scheme of things. But I will say, they may have found the blueprint for that offense that you guys talked about with Greg Roman. Now Lamar could put all of that to rest if he starts consistently pushing the ball, not even down the field, just pushing it somewhere else on the field than down the hashes. And I think he'll be able to open things back up for that offense and not make it so predictable. Good question, though, Si. That's good, though.
It's a really, really good question. Did you have any that you had on there on the docket, Quan, or no? We're going to move forward.
Yeah, I got a question. It's from one of my boys who's a Raider Nation fan, my boy D. Also, I want to shout out also real quick Michael Walker, linebacker for the Falcons. He's from Vacaville, California. So shout out to the West Coast. He had his first start. Great job. Is Derek Carr the guy? Now, I'm gonna kick it to CT first, then Pat, and then I'll go last.
CT, it's on you.
I've been harsh, and I'm going to say that he is. I don't see why not. It seems like the boys have been riled up to play for him, as of late. I know it wasn't the best game, last week, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt to finish the season. We can kind of assess it from there.
Right now, the Raiders are playing good football. He's a starting quarterback. They're winning games. That's the measuring stick. Wins and losses. I don't care about the yards. I don't care about the completion percentage or the QBR. Did you win or did you lose? That's all I care about. And at the end of the day, the Raiders are winning games, and that's that for me.
He's the guy until he isn't the guy. You guys know I've been very critical of Derek Carr. But I like Derek Carr. He has everything you want from the intangibles, leadership, good head on the shoulders, family man, he's made of the right stuff. He can secure himself a contract extension at the end of this year and be a Raider for life, where he said, I don't want to play for nobody else. And now most people do say that, but when he says it, he puts a little extra emphasis on it. So he could earn that extension by just doing what he's doing. He plays within the offense, and he does great. I mean, at this point, he's one of maybe 6 quarterbacks right now who has no touchdown. No interceptions right now. There's only like 4 or 5 of them. So he's doing very well. So he is the guy.
All right, so we got just 3 more questions, man. CT, you got one. I got one here. This comes from our guy Juan. Juan says this is gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. This is about to be a tough one. You put your thinking cap on ASAP. Juan asked this question. Juan says, what blockbuster trade do you think will go down at the trade deadline to catapult an on-the-edge team to a playoff team or Super Bowl contender?
Hey, are we going entire NFL or just in the West?
We just going NFL on that one.
Okay.
He making our brain work too fast for the live.
Right.
Over here, we like, yo, I'm live, B. Like, that's crazy.
Trade.
That's a really, really, really good one. It's like a really good one. I can't think of none right off the bat.
I don't even know. Let's see. Who's you know what?
I got one.
Go ahead. I was about to throw something out. Go ahead.
I'm gonna just go ahead on a limb because there's been so much talk about it. Odell Beckham traded to the Patriots. Give him an actual weapon on the outside. The Patriots could potentially be on the bubble team that, fighting for that last, wild card or playoff spot, so to speak. Trading Odell Beckham to the New England Patriots can really push them over the hump and might make them an actual playoff team or a contender. So I'm gonna say Odell Beckham to the Patriots would be the trade that could potentially catapult the Patriots into deep playoff run or Super Bowl contention. I'm so proud of myself for that one right now. I'm so proud of myself.
That was cheating though, because that one's been a rumor for 3 years, bro. That's cheating.
Fast.
This one may not be a big blockbuster trade, but I think it might be needed, and it's West Coast related.
Okay.
Only because the Niners are so injured at this position. I could see the Niners making a trade for a DB from the Chargers in Desmond King. He has corner, and he was drafted as a corner, locked down when he was at Iowa. And since he's got to not San Diego, but to LA, he's been used as safety and corner. And he plays nickel, plays punt return. I think you guys just need the depth. So it may not be the big blockbuster move, but it's a move that makes sense. Also to add, he's not happy because when Derwin went down, and then I think the other starting safety, I forgot his name, but he went down. They decided to bring someone up from, I think, practice squad, and he went out on a podcast or his Twitter or somewhere and basically said, I don't know why I'm not being looked at to play right now. I don't know why they're not putting me in, but I'm going to leave it up the way it is. And he left like some cryptic emoji. So he's not happy with his playing time there, and he's very, very good. So I can see that.
All right. I see it. Okay. CT, you got one?
Hey, so I'll do it this way, guys. I'm going to give you a bunch of names, and you give me a yes or no, meaning they'll be traded or they won't be traded.
I like
you guys ready?
Okay.
All right. Tight end, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Cameron Brate.
Oh, he's got to be traded.
Okay.
Really?
I mean, they got. I mean, he's not playing. It's just Gronk and OJ.
But that's a shame because Brate's been more productive than OJ. They just giving. I hate. See, that's what I'm saying. Production over projection. That's what I'm saying.
It's true.
Go ahead.
AJ Green.
Oh.
He's done. He's washed.
Oh.
Somebody take a flyer.
He's
Maybe
washed.
Philly.
He's washed. I said that.
Okay.
I said that weeks ago.
Hey,
washed.
that's a good trade. That's a good trade partner. Him going to Philly. Yeah.
For a 7th round pick.
I think this name is nuts. This is nuts. Kareem Hunt. I would not trade him.
No, you can't trade him.
If they do that, Baker Stats finna go back down.
No, you can't trade him.
I heard about this a while ago. Left guard for the Patriots, Joe Thuney. Something like that.
Oh no, I don't even know.
He's been on the trade block for a while.
Okay.
Receiver Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah.
No. I think
really
his contract makes it too difficult. Because if that was the case, they would have been moved on. Remember last year, him and Carson had a little thing going on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that those probably be some whatevers. Let's jump over real quick. Let's run through the last two right quick, and then it's gonna get into our week 4 predictions.
Sure.
Last one. What's on your mind? Somebody said, if Nick Mullins continues to play at a high level, only person that can say this with Nick Mullins is Patrick Mahomes, where you've thrown for over 2,600 yards and 14 touchdowns in 9 starts is just Pat and Nick Mullins. If he continues to play at the level which he's playing, do you consider him over Jimmy Garoppolo?
Y'all Niner fans answer first. I'm gonna just shake my head until it's my turn.
CT, is on you.
You want my answer? Or do you want the right answer?
I want what you have to say.
I say no. I think you still go with Jimmy G if he's healthy. My reasoning personally is the team chemistry. Sometimes I've witnessed that with Alex going down and Cap coming in, and there was a little bit of dysfunction in the locker room for that purpose, even though we were still pretty successful. But, sometimes you got to be careful with that. You also want to pay attention to the hot hand. So if he's balling, maybe it should be in consideration. But this is just the devil's advocate portion of my argument here.
And much later in the career, I want to say this. I have to preface back by what I'm about to say. Much later in his career, but it's very reminiscent of Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady.
Interesting.
Drew Bledsoe went down, was having a great year.
Yes, he was.
Went down. Tom Brady came in, got the hot hand. Little to not known at all quarterback comes in, has the hot hand, wins the Super Bowl. I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying what it's reminiscent of. And let's call a spade a spade. Let's not act like Nick Mullins is not a good quarterback. Like Nick Mullins is good. One thing that I saw on Sunday, I don't care if we were playing the Daly City Titans. One thing that I saw on Sunday was that Nick Mullins was extremely calm under pressure. And while being under pressure, yet and still went through his reads and made tough throws. Granted, it was against the Daly City Titans, but at the end of the day, they're in the NFL, and I have to give them his kudos. I'm going to go with Jimmy G just because, but I'm going to go with Jimmy G with a shorter leash. if things do start to get kind of ugly, 1 or 2 games where we're just on a skid, I'm thinking about it. So
hey, just to throw that out there too, it happened to Drew Bledsoe twice. When he went to Dallas, Romo took over for him too.
Yeah,
so.
sucks to be Drew.
All right,
Quan, how you feel?
Real quick, Greg asked what about Odell to the Vikings. I don't think that's the case. That's why they drafted Jefferson, and Kirk Cousins ain't playing well enough for them to spend that kind of money. So
Kirk Cousins look terrible, Greg. Somebody call him. Call him on the phone. Boy, look bad.
Trevor Lawrence, if they keep losing anyway. We mentioned Jimmy G and Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins, the one thing that I noticed, when he makes up his mind, and Pat, I think you mentioned this last episode, when he makes up his mind, that ball's coming out. And it's
going.
And it's coming. And it's coming. He has a live arm. But no, this is not a controversy like Juan said. This is Jimmy G's team. You cannot get rid of Jimmy G. Y'all was just in the bowl last season. And we all have said when Jimmy G doesn't play, the Niners have been losing. You can check the records. When he plays, you guys get to the bowl and you put up amazing win-loss records. So Nick Mullins is good, but I think what you said, Pat, is exactly right. He has a short leash because you can't ignore Nick Mullins' play. You can't ignore it.
Very
so his
true.
leash is short, but I think his leash is short more because of injury reasons, not because of performance. Yeah. And sometimes it happens like that. That's what happened to Bledsoe, like you mentioned. So we'll see.
No doubt. CT got one more.
Yeah, my man Charlie, one of my clients I train, downhill skier up in Tahoe. He had a fantasy question, so I want to throw that out there real quick.
Have at it. I got Quan this week too. Quan, you on the bubble, baby. I'm coming after you. Go ahead.
If you have Julio Jones on your team, would you trade him?
This is the thing with Julio, because I understand why he said that. I understand why he asked that question. Julio is going to get a lot of yards, but he's not going to score a lot of touchdowns.
Right.
So it depends. If you're in a standard fantasy league, I would trade him. If you're in a PPR, I would keep him. There you are.
There you go.
Simple.
Touche. I'm gonna just go with what Pat said. He's the fantasy guru.
Let me see. Juan just said something. Mullins, 14 touchdowns versus 11 interceptions career. If people gave Jimmy a tough time, then they need to watch some film. I agree.
Shout out to Juan
by a true quarterback.
Hey, these people ain't watching film like that. You know what I'm saying? All they watching is the highlights and the press clippings. They're not watching film. Right on Juan.
Shout out to Juan, man. That's my quarterback. All right, y'all ready? Week 4. Week 4, yeah. Week 4 predictions are upon us. Roll the tape. All right, here we go, gentlemen. I need my guys, Juan, Sadi, Greg, everybody that's on right now. Let's get our predictions up and ready. Is y'all ready? Let's get it. First game on the docket, we are going Rams versus Giants. Pat, Quan, CT, and in that order, we are going to go like that. I am going with Rams. Easy money. Big day by Robert Woods. Big day by Cooper Kupp. So if I was you, Quan, I would start Cooper Kupp against me. Now you don't have Cooper. Never mind. I would start somebody from the Rams. But yeah, I'm gonna go Rams.
I'm gonna go Rams. If the dang Giants O line cannot block a battered up Niners D line, they're definitely not blocking Aaron Donald. So
boy.
So
all right.
Rams.
CT.
Just like they say at crime scenes, there's nothing left to see here. Rams all day.
Rams all day. So we got Quan, Pat, and CT with the Rams, Sadi with the Rams, and Juan with the Rams. So it's a clean sweep for the Rams. Next game on the docket, as you see rolling across your ticker, we are going 49ers versus the Eagles.
Sunday night football.
Too much Nick. Got to go with the Niners. Matter of fact, Jalen Reagor just got put on IR, by the way, too.
Oh, wow.
I know, that's sad, man.
And they lost their tight end.
Well, Zach Ertz is going to be there.
To the other tight end. Yeah.
Goddard.
Yeah.
Hey, is Rieger on a true IR or this new revised IR?
All of it is the same 3-week IR now.
It's all 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
but they're not reporting it like he's out for the year.
No.
Okay. I say Wentz gets on the board. I say the Eagles win.
That's 2 weeks in a row you don't bet against us. I want you to realize that.
You're right.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
But the Giants, I just took a flyer. I really had no reason. I just said it. But the Eagles, I have a reason. The Eagles, I have a reason, man. I think they get on the board this week. I think they notice their division is still up for grabs, as trash as it is, and they need to beat a team with some solidness to it. So let's go Eagles.
By far, NFC East is the worst division in football.
It's trash.
It's terrible. All right, so you got Quan got Philly. All right, what's up? Come on,
Quan. I think you're right about something. They are going to get on the board. They might score a touchdown, but they're not going to win.
We'll see.
Niners
all day. I have spoken.
Hey, you know what's funny is that did you see the situation? Did you see the situation with when it was like the meme where it was like Bengals versus Eagles? Somebody has to win. Somebody has to get their first win. Nah,
and nobody.
We're gonna tie this one out, man. So we got Pat with the Niners, CT with the Niners, Quan with the Eagles. And then Sadi comes in and says SF, and even wants to let you know, Quan, Sadi's a Giants fan, said, Quan, even I bet against the Giants on that one. Juan comes in and says, Niners, Wentz is playing horrendous. So,
that is true. I can't defend it. But if anyone can get it back, he can get it back.
You get it back. We'll see what happens. Next up, we got Carolina versus the Cardinals. Cardinals coming off of a nasty outing, nasty showing. I didn't like it at all. Panthers coming off of a pretty decent showing.
They're getting better.
Yeah, they are without Christian McCaffrey. I am going to go. I'm gonna go Cardinals.
Yeah, that was tough for you.
It was so hard. You don't realize how hard that was for me just now.
You know what? I'm gonna go Cardinals as well. Kyler Murray has a bounce back game because that last game was not. He did some uncharacteristic things throwing the football. He won't do those same mistakes twice.
There it is.
Gotta go Cardinals here. They need this. They can't afford to lose. Detroit was a bad loss. And this was him trying to not fit the narrative of being a mobile quarterback, trying to be, that pocket passer. And, it didn't work out well. So he needs to get back to what makes him special. And this is going to be the game to show it. Not having McCaffrey on the other side will make a difference. Less explosive plays. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
He's going with the Cardinals. All right, here we go. I'm going to make this easy. Dolphins, Seahawks. We're all going to pick the Seahawks.
Hold on, wait a second. No, I'm just kidding.
No one's picking the Dolphins. Sadi says Arizona, as well as Juan says Arizona for that last game. But Dolphins, Seahawks, everybody's picking the Seahawks. Even Sadi, even Juan, everybody's picking the Seahawks. Can we agree?
Juan, we agree. Juan,
I don't know.
Why?
Fist magic.
Nah.
That magic trick is up, bro.
Hey, Juan said does Hurts get in against the Niners because Wentz is playing horrible.
I was saving that. Can you
my bad.
Save that? Yeah, I was saving that. Yeah, I was saving that. Nah.
Pause button.
Pause button on that one, man. Don't be out here, you know what I'm saying? You jumping. Don't jump. You know what I mean? You jumping. All right, here we go. Next up, we go on Broncos versus the Jets. Tomorrow night, Thursday night. I'm going Jets.
Yeah.
I'm going Jets. You know what? Sam Darnold, I've been very critical of Sam Darnold, but I watched, watch this. I watched one play in particular, two plays actually, where Sam Darnold broke two tackles in the backfield. Had the opportunity to get sacked twice, broke both tackles, rolled to his right, and hit Braxton Berrios in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. I don't know if it's Sam Darnold. I think it's that offensive line that they makeshift together and they've just pasted random dudes off of the street and was like, "Hey, you're big. Play offensive line for the Jets." And they're out there. But I just have to believe that this is the week where Sam Darnold wheels the New York Jets to a win. And I think that the Broncos are so beat up front and stuff like that. Leonard Williams is actually a boy on the defensive line for the Jets. Leonard Williams is actually a boy. So I'm interested to see what happens. I'm going to say Jets.
Leonard Williams got traded to the Giants, brother.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Last
sir.
year.
When? Okay, my bad. Who
Last
was
year.
it? Was somebody on I knew it was a New York team. My bad.
Oh, you're talking about the guy who got picked before Bosa. Oh, no, after Bosa, excuse me. Alabama, right?
Quentin Williams.
There you go. Yeah. Williams,
go.
I got you.
I'm going Jets.
That's tough, man. I'm going Broncos. I'm going Broncos.
Okay.
Is Lindsey back yet? Does anybody know? I think he was questionable.
I don't know. I don't care. I picked Jets.
I hope Frank gets some
He
yards.
is not.
And
He's not.
Frank is out there
He's
running
not.
back going crazy. Go ahead.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Stop.
Frank is doing his thing, man. Chill out.
Quan,
I mean-
be respectful, sir.
I'm about to say you better chill out, bro.
Hey,
I'll turn off this
I
whole
mean-
live. You will
I
not
mean-
disrespect Frank Gore on the field level. That's what you
I mean,
ain't
he's-
gonna do.
I mean,
Nope.
he's playing, but
Who you
he's
picking?
playing, but he's-
Nope. Who you picking? The Broncos or Jets?
Hey, man,
Disrespect Frank Gore.
I'm going Broncos, but I think you had a good point. I think the Jets offensive line coach is the same coach in the Broncos. He just switches hats. They both suck. But I will say this: I think the Broncos have more talent at DB and at DB corners and safeties than the Jets have receiving options.
All right,
So-
so I picked the Jets, Quan Broncos, CT Broncos, Juan. Juan is with the Jets. And Sadi's with the Jets.
They're scoring
So-
12 points a game, man, or average.
I don't care, man. Sadi said
Trash.
Darnold was underrated. So me, Sadi, and Juan, the actual people that know football, are picking the Jets.
That's what we doing.
And then Quan and CT are picking the Broncos. Shout out to my brothers, man. I had
Hold on,
to
real
throw a
quick.
little ooh-wop out there.
Real quick. If you watch film, you'll notice that the Jets don't play well against third stringers either. Watch the Niner game. Championship.
So yeah, that was a good call out by Juan. Also, Jets have a few injured players returning, such as like Jay Crowder and George Fenner on their way back this week. So another thing to take into take note of. All right, here we go. Chiefs Patriots.
Ooh.
Don't you dare do it.
Chiefs are riding the high wave. Just came off of a great win against the Ravens, so I'm picking the Patriots.
Are you?
Oh. Wow.
Why you just
Swerve.
said I have to give the Chiefs an apology. I've been down on them, and then here you go again.
The field
Somebody-
level swerve.
Somebody got to come out with a hot take. I'm going Patriots.
Hey, CC,
Upset alert.
Isn't it funny how he just said the people that know football, we gonna pick the Jets, and now we gonna pick the Patriots. Man, you better knock it off. Until Chiefs lose, I will never pick against the Chiefs. Until you need to do it, and then I'll believe it. Chiefs.
You want to hear what I want to happen or what's going to happen?
What's going to happen?
You know, I think they're going to go to the diner. I think they're going to order the special. Hot Ales. Kansas City all the way.
Kansas City. All right, so I'm on that Pat train because I am Pat. Quan got the Chiefs. CT got the Chiefs. My boys gonna come in here and tell me who they got in a second here. But while we're waiting on them, let's go Bills, Raiders, Bills. That's it.
I'm gonna go.
That's it.
I'm gonna go Raiders.
I didn't have nothing else. I just that pause was the dramatic. Bills. That's
We're
all I
going
have.
with the Raiders.
All right, Raiders it is.
Buffalo Bills.
Bills, Raiders. That guy, Raiders. So as I said, Juan came in and said Kansas City. Shout out to Juan for that. Sadi says if New England can control the clock, they got it. But I'm going with KC. So he's going with
And
KC.
Hey, that was the Ravens' game plan. Hold the ball. Look what happened.
Sadi says Bills. Sorry, Quan. Juan simply says Bills. No sorry to Quan. All right. So that's that. Predictions is in. Can't go back. He rubs the lotion on its skin. It puts the lotion in the basket. So shout out to that, man. All right. Last thing. This is what I was coming in. This is what I was alluding to. No rant this week. This week we're substituting rant with the bold prediction of the week. The bold prediction of the week. My bold prediction of the week, similar to what Juan says, is that before the Philly Niners game is over, you will see Jalen Hurts in at quarterback to finish the game.
I won't disagree or agree, but I will say this: if that happens, CT, you have to add Wentz's name to your list of players that might get traded. He should get traded. If I was him and I got benched after 3 games with all the injuries I got, granted I'm not playing well, but with all the injuries I got, yeah, trade me right now. Do it right now. Trade me. I'm demanding a trade.
Get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
And his contract. That's ugly.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't think it's as ugly now because people remember he signed.
Yeah, money done flew up. Yeah, money done flew up now.
Yeah.
All right, bold prediction of the week. What we got, fellas?
CT, it's on you.
I've been hearing a lot about Hurts, man. I don't think that's far-fetched at all, to be honest with you. So maybe they do that to give the team a spark. I'm all on board on that.
There it is.
Third quarter.
You ain't got one for me, Quan? If you don't have one for me, I want you to answer this question.
What's up?
Speaking of Wentz, if he were to get traded, what team would he fit the best with? I'm going out on a limb, and I'm saying trade. If you keep all your pieces, trade Carson Wentz to the Cleveland Browns.
That's where he should have went anyway for most people.
That's
I would
hard
like
to
him
say.
there.
That's hard to say, especially if the Browns end up winning this weekend. I mean, they're not going to make that trade by going 3-1, and they got a new head coach. So I don't see that. I do see him going. If he gets traded, I could definitely see him going to the. Oh my God, I just had the team in my head. I could see him going to the Broncos. Unfortunately, even though we like Drew Lock, I think the Broncos have a lot of pieces to where if he got there, maybe something could happen, but maybe not. Their line still stinks. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's because a lot of teams don't need a quarterback right now, and even if they do need a quarterback, they're like 0-3 or 1-2 to where it doesn't really matter.
I think another. I was just about to say another landing spot could potentially be Minnesota. I think Minnesota could potentially be another landing spot for Carson if they were to trade him, just because Kirk looks just as bad as Carson, if not worse, and Kirk is older. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So I wouldn't mind Carson Wentz in Minnesota with guys like Thielen and Justin Jefferson. I'd take it. See what happens.
Oh, I would love that. I do have a bold prediction though. My bold prediction is this: tomorrow, in the Thursday night game, Frank Gore. Look at CT face. No.
You better be cool, bro. I'm telling you right now.
I'm just messing with you. I ain't got no bold prediction. I'm just messing with you.
All right, man. Hey, that's it. That's all we got for tonight's show, man. I'm excited. Follow us on Instagram, guys, at The Field Level. Follow us on Twitter at The Field Level 1. All is in the description, the link below. Make sure that you are clicking that link right over there. Subscribe, hit your notifications, and let's be a part of the Field Level family, man. We do have some things coming around the corner. If you want that Field Level merch, DM us for them Field Level t-shirts so you can rep the Field Level everywhere you go. I'm Pat. That's Quan. That's CT. I thank each and every one of y'all for being with us on tonight. Quan, CT, any final words before we get out of here, brother?
On you, Quan.
Hydrate, drink your water, drink your green tea.
It is what it is. CT, what about you, bro?
I'm gonna get some green tea too, man. I think I'm convinced.
It's in the cabinet.
Yeah,
It's in the
I'm
cabinet,
getting
man.
there. So I might debut that next week, man. We'll see.
Hey, I'm Pat. Don't call me Pat no more. You gotta address me as field level, Pat. Man, this is the field level. Hit us on Instagram, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio. We're everywhere that you can listen. Make sure that you take a listen to the Field Level Boys. Tell your friend about it. Tell your sister. Tell your girlfriend, so that she can tell her other man about what we got going on. This is the Field Level. We out of here, man.